dedicated for peace and honor of the officers and men who served in the famous regiment of the 12th Manitoba Dragoons. Holy fuck. That's pretty cool. It's cool that we got a tank here. The War Memorial. Their names liveth forevermore. Clippling. It's pretty cool. They cover this in like poppies and Remembrance Day. I'll try and find some pictures, but this is pretty cool. That building right there. See a little dual lit right there? That'd be this building right here. So this has been raised a bit. That shed would never have been here. That would have been added in the late, in the 50s, I believe. Okay, and then we have this thing. Just like the picture. Here, I'll read this in a second, but I want to show you this. This is pretty cool. And then these concrete cradles go all the way down. This is just a reenact. This isn't an original one. They would have used a lot thicker wood for the cradles. Okay, cement structure located to the left was the original hydroelectric dam. Created a 16-foot spillway that spans the construction of 2 flumes to carry the water to turn wheels to generate power. However, only 1 flume was constructed, and it was capable of carrying enough water to produce 500 horsepower. 500 horsepower. With all that water going through there, only generated 500 horsepower. The wooden flume in front of the view that sat in the cement cradles, still visible in the cement dam to brick the hydro building. To the right at the building, at this building, there was a turbine that was turned by water escaping from the flume. To the right of the spillway is an opening cement structure that was used to event of overflow. Was used in the event of overflow. Sorry. Both the flume openings in the dam have been cemented in. A building was originally located at the top of the cement dam that housed the mechanism lift and lower the logs, allowing for the control of water flowing through the flume. So yeah, that building is no longer there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Next will be I'll show you the generators. This is an old farrier forge for making horseshoes. Top's really low on this one though. Yeah, see, it is a farrier forge. They'd have this fan belt driven. Oh, it still spins. And then they'd have that all filled with coal. And then they'd force air feed it. And this is one of the generators that they used for that 500 horsepower. This is a Western Electric Co. generator type M4, kilowatt 5.25, volts 30, amp 175. Full load in volts 30, RPM 1150. Yeah, DC motor. Yeah, it's amazing with the amount of fucking volts and stuff running through there. Amazing, you could power a town at all. But then it was upgraded to diesel generators in here, just for backup though. This is the old barn, old blacksmith shop. Never been here when it's open. It's only open like a couple times a year. And I don't know, I'm assuming this is an old house. There's that schoolhouse I was pointing out. And then here's the hydro building. some reinforcements put in just to stop it from bowing out. There is some spalling up at the top there. You can see where they tried to remortar the top in. Powerhouse number 2, 1920. Manitoba Power Commission, 1920. Powerhouse number 2. On this site in 1913, Minnedosa Power Company erected one of Manitoba's first hydroelectric power stations to service the people of this community. With additional of diesel power generators in the 1920s, this also became the site of Manitoba Power Commission Substation Number 2. Minnedosa was connected to the provincial network in 1930. The hydro station was phased out in 1933. The diesel generators were kept for standby services until 1944. This property was turned over to Minnedosa for recreation purposes by Manitoba Hydro in 1980. So, yeah. So this would have stored diesel generators. If you come over this way, you can see, I guess that would have been the wheel that would have spun those turbines. But this would have had to have been enclosed inside a building, because those DC generators I just showed you don't like being wet. And there's a lot of different connectivities and stuff that could corrode and contaminate the coil and the magnets. But yeah, this is where the water used to come from, or the hydro, all the way there down through here. That's pretty cool. I don't think that brickwork's original though. Concrete and stuff there is fairly new. I think that's recreated too. Yeah, it's got stress relief in it. And I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm not going over there to the Hobbit house. Northville Bell, Mitch, USA. String's not original, because this was a gear pulley style. So this would have been on a ratchet kind of style with a crank arm with a rope hanging from the side. So it's not original. Oh, definitely not original. See those two fingers coming down? You got one here and one here. So that would have had another ball hanging in between them, rocking back and forth. It wouldn't have been hanging with a chain. There's a big, that's another reason you get a certain sound out of the bell. It would have been heavier, almost like a dumbbell, maybe like a 2.25 kg, maybe a 5 kg dumbbell sideways would have been attached to those fingers. Give it a totally different sound. Like even right now, I don't want to ring this though, but ooh, yeah, she carries a ring. But you hear that high pitch ring? It wouldn't have sounded like that. Yeah, it wouldn't have sounded like that with a heavier ring. That's definitely, what is that? Almost looks like a dumbbell too. But anyways, school. Oh, sorry, church. Huntersfield United Church. I don't know. It could have been a school too. Normally everything was used as a school and a church. So, didn't matter. You had to go to fucking church. The Havelock School was built in 1910 by contractor Mrs. Bridgelow. The one-room schoolhouse was constructed at a cost of $1,650. The school was originally located 3 miles south of Minnedosa along Old Highway number 10. The Havelock School opened in May 1911 with 40 students on the register, grades 1 to 8. The school served the families of Havelock District for 55 years before closing in 1966. The school was then sold to Minnedosa Museum for $1 and moved to the town. For years, the school sat beside the original museum building on 1st Avenue Northwest. In 1997, the school was relocated to its present location and had become part of Minnedosa Heritage Village. During the summer of 2003, the red Insul building was removed from the school and the original building was then given a fresh new coat of paint, which brought the school back to its original appearance. Really? But you think they'd use the churches and the schools together? Like, there's not many windows. I thought schools, like, how are you supposed to see inside? Oh, all the windows are on this side. It'd suck to be up against that other wall then. Yeah, I remember the old fucking fireplaces, wood stoves they had in these places. And the chimneys. It's amazing that these places stayed like standing without burning down. Fuck. Don't ask me to say the name. The original part of this house was built around 1910, with the latest additions constructed about 1915. The farm was bought by the Dickey family in 1970, with freshwater works and electric Delco plant installed at the time. Frank and Christy Dickey lived here from their marriage in 1921 until 1945. The Dickey farm was then sold to Lori and Jenny Theory. The house was moved from Cataris district to the Heritage Village in 1999 and is completely restored. Well, I don't know if it's completely restored inside, but doesn't look like anything's. I don't know. Doesn't really look like it is. Like, maybe the outside was finished. Inside probably looks like shite. These are cool. These are showing buildings. So they used to show like horses and cattle. You know, like kind of 4-H shit. I don't know if you guys know what 4-H is. Agricultural Display Building. The Octong building was built in 1904 on the Minnedosa agricultural grounds and built to promote agricultural fairs at the turn of the century. By the late 60s and 70s, the interest in fairs declined. The building fell into disrepair. The Minnedosa Museum Committee expressed the interest in restoring the building and relocated it to the Heritage Village. The building was moved on May 2nd, 2007, was placed on new foundation. The restoration began in 2008 and would see new shingles, lapping, siding, and paint. The balcony and veranda were restored on its original plan, and new windows were installed in 2009. The interior was restored, allowing the building to be once again furnished as a display building. Look, there's a beer window. Actually, this be a cool bar. An old display building. This is so cool. Yeah, the windows were replaced. No, the windows were redone. It's still old style windows in here, but that'd be such a cool bar. Yeah, they even have a beer window. That's pretty cool. Oh, the office for the Heritage Village. Old windmill. Beady pumper? Beady pumper? What does it say? Something. This is a pretty cool building right here. You gotta love the fucking tongue and groove on this shit. And then they filled everything with a plaster, like what they use on lath and plaster. Tin roof, not insulated, just stringers. But this is pretty cool. All tongue and groove. I like the way, this building will never fall apart because the way it's designed. The Hopkins Log Barn. Hopkins Log Barn was built approximately 1930 by Clan William area farmer Ben Hopkins at the the poplar logs came from a farm 1 mile north of the location. By Mr. Hopkins did most of the work on the barn himself, including cutting and hewing of the logs. His nephew helped hauling the logs, and neighborhood B was arranged to install the... Oh yeah, they used to call them bees back then. Yeah, we had one when Got a swing set back in the day. Log barn was moved to the Heritage Village in the fall of 2003. A number of minor repairs, such as replacing the bottom logs and complete on-site corrugated metal roof in its original design. So the bottom two logs look like were replaced. Well, and then on this side, I think 3. Yeah, those definitely different. This is definitely new. This has been replaced. This has been replaced. Oh, you can even see they fucked up this one. They had to shim it. Let's see if he had to shim any of his. Let's see how good he was. Yeah, and this guy did this shit himself. With his nephew helping. Like, fuck. This is before chainsaws here, people. And look, they try to redo this themselves and they can't even fucking get it as good as him. That's fucking awesome. Just goes to show back in the day they really could fucking build shit. But this building will never fall apart. Look at the way it's designed. Fucking ingenious. Wish we could do that now. Just nobody wants to. Oops.